Welcome to Elite Expert Insider Podcast, where we will inspire, motivate, and educate entrepreneurs, innovators, and growth seekers. Brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, making the best and brightest in the industry #1 best-selling authors. 80% of people say they want to write a book. We're assuming that's the same for you. If so, contact us at www.eliteonlinepublishing.com and make your book a reality. Hey, Melanie Johnson here with another great podcast, and my friend Jen Foster. How you doing, Jen?
Hey, guys.
We have another terrific show for you. We're going to talk about bullying. We're going to talk about fitness. We're going to talk about making your life better. Who doesn't want to do that, right? We have an expert here, and we have a super hot guy that's going to talk to us. So if you're just hearing the audio, he's got a hot voice, but he is a super hot guy. If you can see him and you're watching him on YouTube, he's fit. He's a martial artist. He's a 9-degree black belt. Oh my gosh. Just with that, he's been a stunt double. He's been in all these movies. All right, wait, before I get too far ahead of myself, please subscribe to us, because when we have special guests like this on, you want to know ahead of time. You want to get the notice. So subscribe to our podcast. You'll be up on all the latest information. Leave us a comment. We would love to hear from you. And of course, share it. Don't just keep all this great information, motivation, and education all to yourself. Share it with your friends, your family, anyone you think that can use it. So we're going to get started. We have Chris Casamassa with us today. He wrote the book, Bully Proof Fitness. Not only has he written that book, he is, like I said, a 9-degree black belt. He has been in a lot of movies. We're going to talk about that and how exciting that was. And then he's got this product that he sells to fitness gyms that really helps you with your fitness. And it's great for youth, and it helps with bullying too. Chris, welcome. Thanks for coming today.
Well, thank you for having me, Melanie. I really appreciate it.
So tell us, Chris, a little bit about your background and where you came from and kind of how you got into this field.
Well, I've actually been involved with martial arts my entire life. Like Melanie said, I'm a 9th-degree black belt. I started when I was 4 years old, so now I've been doing this for 122 years. Yeah, it just seems like that. It's dog years. But I fell in love with it at a very early age, and I stayed with it. My father is my actual martial arts instructor. He's the guy that created our system and style of martial arts, which is called Red Dragon Karate, and we have 12 locations in Southern California. And we've been doing this now for over 50 years. So our company and our business has been around for over half a century. So it's a pretty big landmark, and we're very excited about that. And all that credit goes to my dad, but he was my hero, my role model. So I fell in love with martial arts, of course, and just kind of stayed in it. And that ended up becoming my mission and my passion, my purpose. And then, like my dad, I started teaching and helping kids, and just kind of everything just grew from there.
Why do you think it's important for kids to get involved in martial arts?
Very simple reason: self-confidence. Okay, self-confidence and self-esteem. And you talked about my book, Bully Proof Fitness, and one of the biggest things that happens to kids is because they lack that confidence and self-esteem, they seek out people who they feel might be their friends, but these are people that are picking on them and making fun of them, but they're getting attention. Unfortunately, it's negative attention that they're getting. So they kind of confuse those wires sometimes. So martial arts, or really any art form that brings out confidence. Sometimes I tell people, get your kids into gymnastics or ballet. If there's not a martial arts school near you, it's the way that you carry yourself, the presence and the poise, because a lot of times bullies will seek victims, right? It's that victim mentality, someone that's introverted. So they're trying to feel better than them. So they'll try and pick on them. Just the way that a kid learns to stand upright and keep their head up and their eyes forward sometimes can be enough to keep a bully away from them.
Mm-hmm. I love that. It's all about body language, right? And if they're learning those kind of things, whether they're in karate or ballet or gymnastics or something else, team or whatever, I think.
Now listen, I would prefer that they're in martial arts, because obviously there's a self-defense component that's not in gymnastics or ballet. Like, you can't spin away when someone attacks you.
Right.
Unless you're in a movie, then flipping away works in movies. But in real life, sometimes you actually need that self-defense application. But anything that helps to raise their confidence is going to be beneficial for the kids, especially for girls. Now, listen, you two ladies can testify to this, and I'm a huge proponent on especially girls. I have a daughter myself, so listen, women and girls get attacked. The statistics of attacks on women are horrible. 1 in 3 women will be attacked or sexually assaulted in their life. right? So if I'm in a room with 5 women, if I ask them who's it's happened to, the chances are 3 of them are going to raise their hand. Do you know what the stats are for a guy to be attacked in his life? 1 in 25.
Wow.
Right? So 1 in 3 versus 1 in 25. It's horrible, horrible. So anybody that's listening or watching that has a daughter, you have to get your daughter involved in martial arts, if for no other reason that at that point in her life, when some guy tries to touch or do something to her that she doesn't want to have happen, she has the skill and the confidence and awareness to be able to fight back. Right? My daughter is a black belt in karate. She actually just made her 2nd degree black belt in karate.
Awesome.
And I'm going to tell you a story. I don't ever want anything to happen to her. The stats, though, are something's going to happen to her in her life. When it does, I kind of want to be a fly on a wall because I want to see my daughter whip this guy's ass. And I hope it never happens, right? And I hope she goes through her whole life and she never has to use it. But I just want to be there because I've trained her so well that I know she knows exactly what she's going to do.
Yeah, well, and I think it's really important for girls and for women in general. So I know that you're talking about kids and martial arts for kids, but as adults, we could also take a class and learn some self-defense, whether we do it for 6 months or a year or keep going and get our black belts. Like, I mean, we're not limited. You don't have to say just because you're an adult, you can't go to the karate.
One of the greatest things about martial arts is there's no age limit. You can start at any age. You don't have to be a kid to start. So for you or Melanie, you can be any age to start. It's great it's a full body workout. First of all, like we say, we work out everything from your toes to your nose, because that's what the martial arts does. But it's a great confidence and self-esteem builder.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, growing up is kind of like one of those Me Too stories. My brother was a wrestler. He was a collegiate wrestler. He was a 4-time All-American and 3-time NCAA champ. So people were kind of afraid of me just because of my brother. So I had that. And I had that confidence, but I did have that situation where I did get attacked. And because of,
so there's a perfect example of what I just said.
Yes, I knew wrestling moves, I knew things. And then a guy that had worked for us was a martial artist, and he showed me a couple things one day. So I did what pushing on someone's diaphragm, and I did what he said. And this guy got up and he was like, "Please stop, leave me alone." He ran away.
Right.
So it's kind of the thing. So it does happen. So the fitness part of it, there's that protection part of it. And you had mentioned in one of the interviews I watched with you how the obesity is gotten so rampant in young kids. So there's the exercise component, but what are some of the other fitness and health things that that you propose?
Well, what I do is it's an education process, and it's for the kids, but also for the parents, right? And if we're talking about obesity now, 99% of all the kids that are overweight didn't get that way by themselves. Right? It comes from the parents because the kids don't feed themselves, parents do. And listen, like I said, I'm a parent, I have a daughter and I have a son. When I was in school, the one thing I was never taught was how to feed my children, or really how to feed myself. You get that goofy food pyramid for like 30 seconds in a health class one day, and then you're like, okay. So you're never really taught that. So parents will sometimes tend to blame themselves, but then not do anything about it. It's really not their fault. What the secret is, though, is to just move forward. Like, forget what's gone on in the past. We can fix this. It's all fixable. One of the great things about the human body is it's so adaptable. It will do exactly what you want it to do, when you want it to do it, if you guide it down the right path. So what I do is I try and educate the parents on the proper eating style and food. And here's the big thing. And this is going to sound funny coming from me, I don't believe in diets. I think diets are a short-term fix to a long-term problem. What I try and do is I try and give healthy eating advice and habits so that people are eating the right types of food at the right times during the day, and they're not gorging themselves. And with women, I work with a lot of women, and a lot of them just say, well, I just eat once a day. Well, what happens to your body when you do that is you think that you're helping yourself, and you're not. Your body goes into starvation mode. Then no matter what you eat, even if you ate a healthy meal once a day, your body stores that as fat because it needs energy. So what I try and educate both parents and women and kids on is, look, just eat 3 or 4 small meals throughout the course of the day. So your body's like a furnace. You're constantly feeding it small meals with good protein, good carbs, good fat, right? So I don't do carb-free or fat-free. Your body needs all those components. Yeah. So it's just the right types of foods. And with our plan in Bulletproof Fitness is we give an outline for it. It's actually in the book, like eat this, don't eat that, have this, don't have that. So it's a guideline to make it easy for them to understand how to eat right. And eating, like anything else, is a habit. Once you get into the habit of eating right, you can do it for the rest of your life, which is why I don't like diets, because, do this for 30 days, do this for 45 days. Well, then when you stop, what happens? You put all the weight right back on.
Yeah.
That's really a lifestyle thing. That's to tell you,
right.
It's you're creating, you got to live the lifestyle. It's something, a commitment for the rest of your life, not for 30 days, not for 60 days.
Right. I mean, listen, here's the thing. We only get one at bat at this, right? So why would you want to do something to make yourself look bad or feel bad? You get one time, you know, and you don't know how long you're here on this planet. So you might as well make the most of it and the best of it while you're here, doing the best that you can. Get the education that's out there. I mean, whether you get my book or, I mean, heck, you could just Google. I almost said a bad word there. You can Google proper eating plans. And I mean, one of the great things about the internet is it's the great equalizer. It can help anybody that wants to help to get it. Now, look, there's a lot of bad stuff on the internet too. There's also a lot of great information out there.
Yeah, I think it's really important too to when you do get that information to apply it, like you were saying. I mean, you can read anything, but if you don't take action.
Right. Right. Words are nothing. Plans are nothing. Implementation is everything. And that's what we try and get them to do. Right. And I do that through positive motivation. We're constantly trying to get these kids and even the adults and the parents, you can do this. You can do this. Just keep going. The first 2 weeks are always the hardest when you're starting something new. Once we get over that hump, then they start to build momentum. We call it the snowball effect, right? It starts rolling down the hill. And then as it gets farther down, it gets bigger, it gets better, it gets faster, and it gets easier.
Yeah.
So what do you tell someone? I mean, so many of us have those days, like even me this morning, I was like, oh, I've had this commitment to get up early before the sun. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't know if I can do it. And how do you get, when you have those days that you're just feeling sluggish and you're not motivated, or things go wrong and someone knocks you down or life knocks you down, to keep motivated and keep that going?
All right. So now you're going to hear me say a bad word. Listen, shit happens. Right? You've got to learn to roll with that and just keep going. And remember, first things, if you don't take care of you, nobody else is going to take care of you, whether you're a kid or you're an adult, right? So you focus on doing the best you can for you. And listen, I've had those days. I've woken up in some mornings, I'm like, I don't want to work out today. I don't want to do this today. But I force myself to do it. That's part of the reason why martial arts is important. It gives you the discipline and the focus to understand you have to do this, right? You've got to get it done. And what happens is, and you know this too, if you feel that way in the morning, then you actually go and do it. You're like, oh my God, I feel so much better. I feel great. I feel good. So it's that little hump of that little like devil on your shoulder. Oh, you don't need to do it. Just go to McDonald's instead. Go get a Big Muffin and then go to work. Like you go to the gym, then your body and especially your brain will really come alive. The endorphins that the workout gives you just really engages your brain. And that's another great thing about martial arts. I'm going to tell you, there's so many kids out there on these medications for ADHD and hypertension, things like that. I have case after case after case of kids that we have literally gotten off the medication because the workout stimulates their body and gives them an outlet so where they're calm and they're more focused and they're able to channel their energy. And the parents come to me, they're crying because they're like, I don't have to give my kid the meds, or I've cut his meds in half and he's doing such a great job. So the physical aspect, the workout component of it is so important. And especially, I know I'm rambling on, but listen, with school and school grades, like there's study after study, and I put a couple of case studies in my book on it about how physical activity improves the grade point average of kids across the world, not just in America, but across the world. And here's the sad thing in America, because of budget cuts, they're taking out physical education in school after school after school. And then what's happening is the grade point average of those schools is going down, down, and down, and nobody can figure out why. It's a very simple answer. They're not physically moving those kids. And you and I as well, we spend so much time in front of computers. I mean, we're on a computer now doing this stuff that it becomes an addiction and you get involved with it, which is why physical education is so important at the micro and the macro level.
Yeah, I think it is very important. And you look at, 100 years ago, there was a lot more activity, a lot more moving, a lot more walking places, going places, doing different things. If you grew up on a farm, you had to wake up and work and move. And nowadays, we send our kids off to school and we say, sit down and be quiet and and don't move, right? And then we wonder why we have an obesity problem. It's because we're telling our kids to sit down and not move. When then they get home and they play Xbox, right? Or they play on their phone or whatever. And they're not moving, they're not active. So I think the martial arts is such a great outlet for all of those aspects, for academics and for physical fitness and for learning those skills that will help them in life.
Right. And listen, kids do a lot of activities and they do a lot of things. So it's not, if someone's listening or watching going, oh, I don't have the time to do it. I tell every parent that I talk to, if you can go 2 days a week or 3 days a week at a minimum, I mean, that's ideal. And the classes aren't for 2 or 3 or 4 hours. Most martial arts classes are 30 minutes to an hour. Do that 2 or 3 days a week and just watch the improvement that happens over time with your children. So it's not something that has to be, I'm not going to the gym for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. Like I don't even do that, right? I work out and teach for a living, but you know, I only work out maybe 2 or 3 days a week to keep myself in the shape that I'm in.
Yeah.
Wow. That's inspiring. So tell us, I got to segue a little bit into the movie thing. Tell us about becoming a stuntman and some of your experience with that.
Well, I got started it was kind of and I'm all about focus and goal setting. So when I was in martial arts, I wanted to start competing in martial arts tournaments. And there is a pro tour, just like there is for golf or car racing or anything like that. There's a pro tour for martial arts people that want to compete. So I went on that tour and I ended up becoming a 4-time #1 national champion. So yeah, I spent a number of years out on the circuit. And then what happened was when I won an event in Atlanta one day, some people that were in the audience came up to me afterwards and they said, "Hey, would you like to be in a TV show that we're putting together about real martial artists?" And I said, "Well, yeah, sure, that'd be great." And people had asked me about that before, and nothing really ever happens. That's kind of the nature of the movie business. Like, we're going to do this movie, and then you never hear from them. We're going to do this. So about 3 months after that, I got a phone call, and they said, "Are you still interested in doing the show?" And I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." And they said, "Well, we're going to fly you down to Universal Studios in Orlando, and we're going to shoot the pilot for the show," which became a show on Fox called WMAC Masters, where they used real martial artists to talk about the philosophy. It was a kind of a fighting tournament thing. It's a neat little show. I think you probably pull it up on YouTube now, but it was a great show. We were actually #1 in our time slot. So it kind of started from there with me as far as being in front of the camera. And then I was in the original Karate Kid movie, the first one way back with Ralph Macchio. Yeah. If you blink though, you don't see me. I'm in the part of the background tournament, but that's where I got the bug to do movies. And so I'm like, all right, I want to get into this more and more and more. And the people that I met on that TV show led to me doing work on other things. I got to fight with Wesley Snipes and Blade. I got to go toe-to-toe with Chuck Norris and Walker, Texas Ranger.
Wow.
I got to do one of the coolest things ever. I got to actually wear the bat suit. I doubled for George Clooney in Batman and Robin.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that's really cool. You put
That's
that suit
one of my favorite movies.
Thank you.
I love that movie.
But listen, it's cool because you put that suit on, and the first thing that you do is you immediately, magnetically, you're drawn to a mirror so that you can stand there and just be like, "I'm Batman."
Yeah. That's so
that was a lot of fun. And then the role that most people recognize and know me for is one of the biggest video game franchises in the world. It's a $1 billion franchise. It's had a couple of movies and a TV show. And I play the character Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat franchise.
awesome.
Oh, I got to tell my boys about that.
Yeah. Yeah, my son.
That's what I tell adults. Like, you don't know who I am, but your kids do.
Yeah. Well, I know the game for sure. And my son's in martial arts now. He does karate here in Salt Lake with Bobby Lawrence
awesome.
Karate. It's similar to your franchise, it sounds like. But he loves it, and I think it's so great a physical outlet for him. And
So what inspired you to write a book? You know, to take that information and put it into your book, Bulletproof Fitness.
That's a great question. So the reason I wrote the book is because I've been helping kids at our studios in California for a number of years, and we've seen the positive impact and the results that we were getting. I'm very hyper aware of the obesity epidemic that's out there for kids. So that's why I created a couple different programs to help them, because as much as I think I can help every kid in the world, I can't physically be there. So I created a program that school owners and gyms can use to bring into their facility, which helps them get more members. And so it's a win-win for them, right? It's going to bring more members into the school, but they're helping kids in the community get fit, get healthy, and get strong. So that's my Kick and Fit Kids program. And then we're doing the same thing with Bulletproof Fitness. So the difference between the two is Kick and Fit Kids is a 6-week program, and Bulletproof Fitness is kind of a laser-focused 42-day approach for them. So it's either or for them, but both programs do the same type of thing, meaning there's a food plan that comes along with it. So we show you exactly what to eat and how to do with it. There's an exercise plan that you can do. And even with Bulletproof Fitness and with Kick and Fit Kids, I have an app, right? So we try and gamify it for the kids so they can get it on their phone and they can do the workouts with me around the world. Because really my big goal, my mission, my passion, my purpose right now is I want to help 1 million kids get fit, strong, and healthy by 2025. So I'm already at like 60,000 kids so far. So I got a long way to go, but I got 7 years to get there. So anybody that's listening and watching, you can check us out. And if you think the program's right for you, let us know. And it's great. You don't have to be a martial artist to do either one of my programs. I set it up that way because the martial arts is a big industry, but it's not that big of an industry where the fitness industry is even bigger, or people that have like daycare centers, rec centers, even bounce house places or trampoline places could actually use this program to help kids be active.
Great.
That's
Well, tell us
wonderful.
where we can find you.
You can find me anywhere, really. But the two main places that you can find me are bullyprooffitness.com, which is the website. You can get a copy of my book there. Of course, my name, but good luck spelling it. Maybe it'll come across the lower third. That's chriscasamassa.com. You can link out to everything from there. I'm on all the social media platforms. We have, like I said, we have the app out, which if you're in your app store on Google, Android, or iTunes, just type in KICKNFIT Kids or Bullyproof Fitness. You can download the app. It's free, by the way. The app download is free. So those are all the places that you can find me.
That's great. We'll put those links up at the bottom and make sure people go and check out those apps. Those apps sound awesome, and they can connect with you and follow you and share this podcast so that other kids can also learn from you and from your Bullyproof Fitness class. Awesome.
Right on. Thank you.
Sounds great. Well, thanks for joining us, Chris. We really appreciate it. So we want to say, remember to subscribe to our podcast. And also, if you're thinking of writing a book, we have our book, How to Write Your Life Story and Leave a Legacy, is just one of our 1,500 books that we have on Amazon. We'd love to publish your story. We think every business and every person has a story to tell. And Elite Online Publishing has everything you need to tell it. So we'll see you next time here on the podcast, Elite Expert Insider. Remember to subscribe and share, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on.
If you'd like to create the most powerful advertising tool for your business, contact us at eliteonlinepublishing.com, where we will help you create, publish, and make your book a #1 bestseller and show you how to get new leads and more revenue for your business. If you'd like to check us out on our Facebook page, we have a free book for you as our gift. Just go and click free book. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment for our podcast. We would love to hear from you.